Shalom, we are in Parashat Matot-Masei, and we are during the 3 weeks of mourning, of remembering the days of the destruction of the house, the first temple and the second temple. We know that in 17 of Tammuz, the walls of Jerusalem have been broken. Just a second. The walls have been broken, and then later on, 3 weeks after, we are marking the day of both of the temple have been destructed. And we had many other tragedies in the same day, in the 9th of Av. And we need to see how to look at it in the right way. Because we know that everything that Hashem does is doing for Letovah. He's not doing anything against Am Yisrael. He's doing only for helping Am Yisrael to reach to a better situation. So what is this big 3 weeks? We know another 3 weeks, which is we marking in the year, the Jewish high holidays, which start in Aleph Tishrei, and then until the day of Simchat Torah, it's 21 days, it's also 3 weeks. And this is a auspicious time, a happy time. And there are some midrashim which is comparing these 3 weeks against the 3 weeks. And however, the Navi said that they will turn the Tzom HaRevi'i וצום החמישי יהפכו לששון ושמחה. The fast of the fourth fasting and the 5th one will be turned to happy occasions, sason and simcha, joy and happiness. And we know that happiness has to be something from inside. It's not out, it's not something that should be affected by event, which means there is something big in these occasions that is actually should bring us to a situation of simcha, of joy. And when we're talking about the redemption of Am Yisrael, it said, Anochi, Anochi, hu menachamchem. I, Hashem, is giving you the comfort. Twice he said, Anochi, Anochi, I am. Who is giving you the comfort? The comfort. So, which means there is a big confrontation that will come in the day of the Geulah, which it will be understood why we had to go through this entire time of the exile, and moreover that it was worth it, until we will say, there is a pasuk that say, Toda Hashem ki anafta bi. Thanks God that you have been hard with me, that you have been angry with me. Thank you that you didn't, that you was not easy with us. Which means there is supposed to be something so beautiful and so magnificent that will be as result of this exile, that it will be worth it. And to understand that, we will need to see a little bit the entire idea of what is this redemption, and what is this Bet Mikdash, and what is the purpose of all this world. why Hashem created it. And these are big questions, but we will start. One second. So we will start with the first, with a story. Rabbi Akiva and Chachamim, Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and Rabbi Akiva. They were going up to Jerusalem, and after the destruction of the second temple, and they obviously were very crying. And they reached to the place of the Holy of Holies. And once they reach there, they see a fox coming out. The fox coming out from the place of Holy of Holies. All the Chachamim started to cry, beside Rabbi Akiva, that left. In another place, there is another story that Rabbi Akiva and Chachamim will have been in a place which they heard the voice from far away. Kol hamona shel Romi. They have been they've been hearing the voice of Romi market, the Rome, which was so strong. Chachamim were crying. See how much God gave to the enemy of Am Yisrael. And Rabbi Akiva was laughing. Not which means that he was laughing, he was happy from the fact. In both of the occasions, Chachamim asked him, why you laugh? So he said to them, now I see the prophecy of Uriah have been happened, that he said, the prophet of Uriah said, that will be a place, that the Holy of Holies will become the place of which fox will walk in it. And you see, now I see that, I know also that the prophecy of Zechariah also will happen. That one day, old people and young people will be here and will be at a place of joy. So he laughed. And there is a big question. Okay, you know that maybe in the future will be a good thing. Why you are actually laughing right now? You see right now a fox coming out from the Holy of Holies. But why you are laughing? Why you are laughing? You see that Romi, our biggest enemy, having so much power, we can hear the markets of them from thousands of miles away. How you laughing and can be happy? So Rabbi Akiva told them, if this is the wage that he giving to them, to someone that not doing his will, so the wage of Am Yisrael and the wage who's doing is the will of Hashem should be much more bigger than that. This is the answer which he answered. Both of the answers and both of the story events still unclear. But to understand what Rabbi Akiva saw, what Rabbi Akiva understood, we first of all need to understand a little bit what is Bet HaMikdash. And what is a unity, what is a special, magnificent thing that happened during the time that Am Yisrael have Bet Mikdash. It said in the Torah, V'shachanti betocha. Hashem said in the Torah that you build for me a Mikdash, build for me a place of worship, Mikdash, a holy place, and I will reside within them. אומר רש"י במקום, within it, בתוכו לא נאמר, within it it's not said, it said within them, ושכנתי בתוכם. Which means, God will reside within Am Yisrael. The idea of having Mishkan, the idea of having a Bet Mikdash, it's not that for Am Yisrael, for Hashem to reside in this house, because Hashem have no limitation, He is one, He is everywhere, He is in every detail that in our life. The purpose is that by the Bet Mikdash, by the presence of the Bet Mikdash, the place of godliness, this way Hashem will be present in the idea of Am Yisrael, and they will remember Him, and He will be reside within them, which means within the heart of them, in the mind of them, He will be present. It will not be a God which is above and disconnected from what is our action, speech, or thoughts. It will be God which is present, which is the other nations not received it. So the idea of Bet Mikdash is to have presence of God in our being. This is the idea of Bet Mikdash. The first Bet Mikdash was Bet Mikdash built by Shlomo HaMelech, and it's destroyed few hundred years after, when Am Yisrael could not keep some of the minimal observations that God wanted them to do. They have been seen in three main categories. One, they have been doing Avodah Zarah. They had Gilui Arayot, which mean immorality relations with all its means. And the third thing, Shfichut Damim. They have been really killing one each other. And this is three mains of the Torah. And hence Hashem said, better that the house will be destroyed and I will not be present. In the second Bet Mikdash, it was not idol worships, but and was no Gilui Arayot in the same way, and not Shfichut Damim in the same way. But it was a hate, Sinat Chinam, hate of one fellow Jew. That's why it's destroyed. And this was to cause to remove the Shekhinah, to remove God's presence from our being. The Rebbe explained, and we can see it more in the things which was during the first Bet Mikdash and which was absent in the second Bet Mikdash. That the first Bet Mikdash was
मैं सब समझी देख तू तेरा रिलेशन मेंटेन कर मेरे को उससे कोई मतलब
if you can mute everyone.
मेल डाला था मैंने उस पे रिप्लाई कर
The first Bet Mikdash.
Thank you.
Sorry. For the first Bet Mikdash was a revelation of the God presence from up to down, which means Am Israel by itself was a people who just came to Eretz Israel. They not have been yet a proper tool, proper vessel to the divine light, even that they understood a lot about divinity. But God anyhow revealed on them in order to make them ready for the divine presence. When he revealed upon them, part of it was by the miracles of Egypt, by miracles of building the land. And the main thing was by building the Mishkan, which started by Moshe Rabbeinu, and then transformed by Shlomo HaMelech to the permanent house. This was revelation again from above. We have not been yet fit to be prepared to get such revelation, because we have been a nation like all the other nations. More than that, we have been slaves, we have been in Egypt, we have been immorality like anyone else. It said in the Haggadah, in the beginning, our forefather was also idol worshiper. So the revelation which came on us with the first temple, which started with Moshe Rabbeinu, and then Shlomo HaMelech, and David HaMelech, it was revelation which came from above to us. It was the decision of Hashem to make us aware about his godly ways. The second temple, after we left Eretz Israel, Am Israel come back. And the story said with Ezra and Nehemiah, they started to build the house by themselves. And many tools, which was in Bet HaMikdash HaRishon, in the first temple, was not there in the second temple. For example, the Ark of Covenant. The Ark of Covenant already hidden after the first temple and was kept in the tunnel under Jerusalem until the time of Mashiach will come. And this was not anymore in the second temple. Still, the second temple had a holy presence, but it was more from the work of the nation. If the first time Am Israel received revelance, didn't know how to appreciate it, did these three main things that he could not observe during the first temple. He went to a short exile, understood what he missed, and then built temple from below, which means from them. They fight for it. But still, the temple built based on the wish of the people. In Bet HaMikdash HaShlishi, in the third temple that's supposed to be built B'ezrat Hashem B'mehera B'yameinu, it is supposed to be both of the elements. The element of revelation of God that wants to come and reside here, and the element of our wish to receive godly presence, which is the two contradictions elements. One is like the element of God as an influencer, as the one that gives us all the influence and the blessings. And the second one, Bet HaMikdash, it was, again, something which is depend on, the second Bet HaMikdash was depend on our work as being a vessel to receive this influence. And in the third Bet HaMikdash will be both of them. It's supposed to be that Am Israel, after the exile of 2,000 years already realized that he wants by himself, he desires by himself to have the divine presence. And more than that, that God himself wants to get into this relationship and become a one unity. And this is like a husband and wife and a groom and bride, in order that it will be a real unity in the family. It's supposed to be that they, both of them, want willingly to be together, the husband and the wife. It's not enough that the husband wants and the wife does looking out, then the house is not good, it's not good. And when the wife loves the husband and the husband not happy with the wife, also, this is not good unity. However, when it's perfect unity, when the husband and the wife want equally and both of them wants to build this family in one unity, then the unity is forever. It's binyan ad. It's something which continue for a long time. And this is why we say that the third temple will not be distracted. Now, once we understood this, we'll come back and we'll understand a little bit the question and the story with Rabbi Akiva. So we see that the journey of Am Yisrael with the first temple and the second temple, it's a journey of creating unity between God and his creator, in his creatures, who is created by him, that both of them will want to be in one unity. God will be present in the world willingly because he's happy with what the world do, which means there is not just that God happy with what he create, he happy with what the people who he's created does. And then it's a biggest unity. For example, there is an employee and there is an employer, and the employer have some employees which is he's not happy with them so much. He still gives them salary, he still keeps them because they doing some of the work that he does. But there are those who doing what he wants, care what he wants and trying to think what the employer wants in order to bring in the organization and execute it. Then he's happy with them. He's not just giving them salary, he's happy with them. He have a joy, and hence usually these employees will go up level until we'll reach more authorities and more authorities in the kingdom of the employer. And the same thing with Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael is supposed to be the vessel to bring the divine knowledge, divine morality to the world, in order that the other nations will also follow them, and it will become a world which willingly by itself goes and do what the purpose of the creation by itself. Because God created the world in order that the people here willingly will choose in the good path. Most of this world, it's a world of lie right now. Many people choosing the shortcuts, choosing what is bother us or what is harming our ego. And that way we are motivating our decisions. What I will be more successful, where I will gain more. But really, the world has been created in such situation in order that the people who created by God, they will be able to choose by themselves to do good. There is a father which growing a kid. He can give him a food. He can give him whatever he needs. But the biggest pleasure of the father is to see that the son going in the right way, or the daughter going in the right way. They're choosing the right decisions. Not for their ego, but it's right because they being morality. They're doing the right things. And moreover that, if it's a good father, he will be very happy to see how his son choosing to walk on his way. It will be the biggest pleasure. And it will not, and there are two types of father which will force the son to go. They tell him this is the right way, otherwise he will get punished. Fine, this is not what the father desired to. The father desired that he will doing it willing. And then the father and the son becoming close more and more. And this is, again, the unity which we are looking at the time of the third temple. In one side, God will be present with us. The Father is here. He's ready to teach. He's ready to give us more knowledge every day. Through the Bet Mikdash, through the Chachamim. Every day a new knowledge comes. And in another side, it's also our wish to receive this knowledge. It's not just that it's coming from one side. Now, when we come back to the story of Rabbi Akiva, we understand now a little bit why Rabbi Akiva left. When Rabbi Akiva left, he was happy. He really saw the moment that the fox come out. He really was thrilled. What he said? He said, like this prophecy happened, this next prophecy also will happen. Rabbi Akiva saw a fox coming from the Holy of Holies and laughed. Why? Because he realized that if everything is one plan, he knew that there is a prophecy that God one day will be united with the nation of Am Yisrael in such way that Am Yisrael willingly will want the presence of God in their life. And he knew that one day God will give it in an extra mile, which means that God will be present in such way which it will never break, because the prophecy said so. But until the prophecy of breaking the first Bet Mikdash and second one, which was based on one side wish, was not happened, he couldn't see the progress of the divine plan, which the entire world created for this purpose. That one day, Yismach Hashem b'ma'asav, Hashem one day will be happy in what he created. Until now, we know Hashem is not yet happy. Situation, there are evil in the world. By why he created the evil? Created the evil in order that we will overcome it. Willingly. That we will be able to choose in the right side. We will be able to fight what is bad. Because otherwise, if there is no evil, how you could take to find the good within you to object something that is not good. Which means there are situations which we in the life not appreciate good. When we see something that objecting it, and we will overcome it, then we appreciate good. and it could be in any kind of example, from our material life to our divine understanding, in every level, in order to reach to a higher place, you need a challenge. We see even in work, even in business. When you want, in order to reach to another gain, another level, you have to go to a challenge. And every kind of challenge, it means there is something, the objective. And this objection, actually, it's the key to create an open and a gate in our own being to find a new abilities, to find a new powers that will give us to go and overcome this challenge. And once you overcome this challenge, means that you have this power. You have this divine power that God gives within you. And if we look at it this way, there is a concept, you know, there is the optimistics and there is the pessimistics. The pessimism will see a trouble. They will say it's a trouble, I should keep away from this. The optimistics will see a trouble, will feel this is opportunity. Here is the opportunity. I will overcome this trouble and then I will gain. And this is two different perspectives. Hence, Rabbi Akiva left. He didn't see a trouble. When he saw the fox coming out, he did not see a trouble. What he seen? He already seen that this is the opportunity of Am Israel to come greater close to God. Yes, it's through exile, but it's an opportunity to come to such situation which God will design within them for real. And not just that he wants to be present and we are obeying his rule, or that we trying to do something by our own and he doesn't want yet to reveal on us in full way. And in third Bet Mikdash, in time of Mashiach, they're supposed to come to the great revelation of both of us getting united. Which means both. We and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, together as a one thing. And the Rebbe connected in this idea, the Rebbe connect to few subjects in the parasha. We'll say it shortly. First of all, this parasha called Matot and Mas'ei. In this parasha, we are finishing the book of Bamidbar, and we're saying Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Matot and Mas'ei, it's the names of both of the parashot, which we join together in this parasha, and by these two parasha, we will finish book of Bamidbar. Matot, the name Matot is like a big stick. It's actually something which used to be for leaders. They used to go with this mate. Moshe Rabbeinu had a mate. We said mate shilton. It was a symbol of strength, symbol of ruling. That there is someone that he is a leader. And Mas'ei, it's a different word. It's talking about the journeys. Mas'ei, which means journeys, the journeys of Am Israel. The Rebbe said that these two words is actually contradicting with each other. Matot Bnei Israel, which means there is a rule. There is a mate of Moshe Rabbeinu, there is a mate of all the rulers of the 12 Nesiim. They ruled Am Israel to the way of the Torah, which means God governed from up to down on our nation through this set of ruling which is decided through the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. Each tribe had a leader, Matot Bnei Israel, and each of them is the head of a tribe. 12 leaders, 70 Zekenim, Moshe Rabbeinu. So which means it's again governance. It's always in affection of up to down. The government is above us, and we obey what they say. It's again like the first Bet Mikdash, the idea of Matot. Mas'ei, in contradiction, speaks about the journey of Am Israel. As we know, in the desert they had 42 stops during the 40 years until they entered to Eretz Israel. This journey of these 42 steps, it's the journey, it symbolizes, as the Baal Shem Tov said, symbolize the journey, the spiritual journey that Am Israel going into the promised land. Which means the promised land, the place which God resides with them. Which means this journey is symbolized the work of us, of the people who are called the Tachtonim, that living in this world. It's depend on our work, which is symbolized, again, the work of the people below, and this is compared to the second Bet Mikdash. And the unity of both of them together. And actually in this time, in the time of 3 weeks, shows the purpose of both of this. In this parashot, once we will complete the book of Bamidbar and we'll start the 5th book, and the 5th book of Torah, it's symbolized, also it's called Mishneh Torah, which means the entire Torah is within it. It's the words of Moshe Rabbeinu before he left. This is a book of the 5th book. And this is symbolized the highest level of unity in the neshama of the person. We know that there are 5 levels of being to the neshama has. You know that it's explained as per the Zohar, that there is nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. We will try to summarize a few words about each of them. The nefesh is the elementary soul which make us to want to live, to desire to have, to desire to live. All the desires coming from it. The ruach, it's a spirit. Like we said, the spirit of the person is happy, the spirit of the person is sad. This is the person with a good spirit, person with a bad spirit. It's our way of thoughts and feeling. Neshama, it's what behind the ruach. You can compare it to the subconscious. The first level of the subconscious, the one that most connected to the being that we have. It's a kind of a meaning, it's a kind of what the person already took from himself, and sometimes he doesn't know even that it exists. That's why we said that the Chachamim, having revealance of Neshama, they starting to understand what is behind their thoughts and feeling. And then we have above it, we have Chaya, the elementary life, which coming from wisdom of God, of wisdom of life. And this is a basic of all the meaning of the reasons why we are wants to live. The reason behind the reasons. There is another one level. And there is one level which called Yechida, unity. Yechida, which is explained Yechida liyachadach. Yechida, which means to every Jew, there is a spark of light, that only what he wants. It's very hidden in the subconscious sometimes. But only what this point of being wants is to live in order to be united with God and his ways. All that what this desire of the real neshama, and it's usually hidden but by many distractions, like the voice of Romy, which doing a lot of noise. All these distractions, all the yetzer hara, all the bad thoughts which will disturb us from hearing the voice of what we are really want, what is really lay in within us, sometimes very hidden. It's to be connected with the godliness, to be connected with God and to be united with him by way of doing Torah and mitzvot. Now, it's layer above layers above layers. This is the neshama of the person. And in this month, we are starting now, month of Av, we will, it's called Chodesh HaChamishi, the 5th month. It's also, we're starting the book of Chamishi, the 5th book, which means the idea of the revealance of this redemption is that every Jew by himself will be able to hear the voice of his yechidah, his unity, that his main purpose of God, and as per this he will plan his life, not as per the voices which coming after. As per this, he will be able to cleave to God and being close to God. Where we also see it, there is something special in this parasha. In this parasha, we hear about the death of Aaron HaKohen. Aaron HaKohen, which was peacemaker, Ohev Shalom, Verodef Shalom. He was running after peace. He was Ohev et habriot. He was love the people, the creatures. Umkarvam la Torah, and he brings them close to the Torah. That said about him that he was doing, and Am Yisrael was crying, the Torah mentioned crying him for 30 days. And it's very special. He only the person that even not Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, not Moshe Rabbeinu, their date not mentioned clearly in the Torah. We know some of the dates which there is a Masoret, but mentioned clearly in the Torah the date of passing of Aaron, it's mentioned only for Aaron. And the date which is mentioned, it's the first for month of Av, first of Yom HaChamishi, of the month of the 5th month. Now, this after this Shabbat means that this Aaron HaKohen, what he taught us, there is one unity. Even person that you think that he's doing negative things, there is a point of unity which is only wants to do good. Aaron HaKohen was trying to find this point to have in everyone. Aaron HaKohen also had another value. He was the one that blessing Am Yisrael. And also in the blessing of Aaron HaKohen, יברכך השם וישמרך, יאר השם פניו אליך ויחונך, יישא השם פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. This is bracha with 3 lines. And this bracha, it said, the Chachamim said about it, it's also have the value of tefillah, which means the work of the person being a person requesting from God, tefillah, prayer, from down to up. And there is also the value of bracha, which is bracha, it's someone blessing someone, he bring a blessing from up to down. And the both of them getting united in the blessing of Aaron HaKohen, of the Kohanim. In the first day of Av, Aaron HaKohen was elevated to the upper world, which means he completed his mission in the world. And the day that chosen by this, and the Rebbe emphasizes in Sikha of this week in Dvar Malchut, the day that chose for it, it's a day of first of Av. Why? Again, to symbolize us, to show us that there is a unity which all of us need to cleave to reach. And Be'ezrat Hashem, this unity will happen in the time of Bet HaMikdash. And that's why these days will turn into a big joy and a big happiness, because it will be understood why it's worth that God went away from us. So we will run after him in such way that he will want to be as united with us and will reach to the perfection of God, or the perfection of the creation like God planned it in the beginning, before he created the world, that this is the purpose of all the creation. So we need to take some out of it. And what is something that we take up from this discussion? First of all, we need to add more in Limud Torah. As much as we're adding in more Torah, we're bringing a Torah, its influence from God, from up to down. And by us learning Torah, we are doing the efforts to understand it, and our mind getting united in a special unity with God himself. To see in every one of us, to see in every one of our friends the good side, to speak about the good side within him, even if someone is bothering you and doing exactly the negative what you think. By that way that you will see the good side in him, and you will try to judge him, even if it's very hard, for good, you can turn him to a better place by that way. The Rebbe also emphasized that in these weeks of the 9 days, we try to learn the laws of Bet HaMikdash. There are plenty of shiurim on the YouTube, which explain about how the third temple will look as per the prophecy of Ezekiel, and there are many other interesting lectures about Bet HaMikdash. I suggest everyone to search, and if you want some links, you can message me or Elisheva. Will be gladly share with you. And also there is, as we said, that the Torah is the main thing, the main unity of Am Yisrael with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is a minhag, a tradition, to do siyum masechet, to finish some tractates, some books in the Talmud, and make the celebration purposely in this day, to add joy of Torah in this date, and by this way to get ourselves prepared to the biggest unity of Bet HaMikdash HaShlishi. So Be'ezrat Hashem, by next week, I will inform Be'ezrat Hashem when, we will do Siyum Masechet, the finish of tractates of Sanhedrin, and which I finished this year, Baruch Hashem, and I would love to invite the people of community who are in Bombay to join us, to say L'chaim, and to little bit to add light to this time until Mashiach will come. Be'ezrat Hashem, hopefully until that time, Mashiach will come and we will be already in Bet HaMikdash, and the finish of the tractate of the book we will do there directly. Be'ezrat Hashem. But meanwhile, all of us should add in Torah, add in mitzvot, add in joy, add in love to everyone, and Be'ezrat Hashem, by this way, will bring faster the unity which we all desire of God with His, whom He created, and it's B'mera B'yameinu. Amen. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.